Going live. Okay, we are going to hit record. All right. Hello, everybody. To all the parents, welcome back. Going live. Okay, we are going to hit record. Okay, now I can speak. All right. It's wonderful to see so many familiar names and people and so many new ones. Welcome to each one of you. I am Dr. Shivani Pandit. I'm a special educator, as you may know already. I'm the founder of Saamarthya. I have been working in the field, working with children with autism and intellectual disabilities for the past 27, 28 years here in the US. And it's a pleasure again to have each one of you here. Today we have our wonderful speaker, Jaspreet ji, coming back to us for NIOS, and we'll have a detailed introduction of her as well for those of you who are joining us for the first time. But I'm also pleased to have here my team, our today's facilitator, Ms. Dora De Silva. Dora, say hello to everybody. And she's our program manager and psychologist at Saamarthya. We also have Riddhi Dedia, who's our director of programs at Saamarthya. And we have Bhavna Pandey, who's our program manager and special educator at Saamarthya. So with the entire team of Saamarthya, I'm happy to invite today's speakers, Ms. Jaspreet Kaur and Mr. Joshua Anthony here today. They are from Amrit Masonic Special School in Noida, doing some fantastic work, as you have already learned in the last session. If you all missed last week's NIOS OBE session, please go on our YouTube channel. The recording is available for you if you have missed it. And of course, last but not the least, I'd love to invite my dear friend Harshali Kharche, who's the founder director of SNIC Rehab Foundation, to welcome each one of you. And thank you, Harshali, for, as always, for being here, for supporting all of our work, and for being such an incredible champion to the parents of this community. So welcome, Harshali.
Yes, thank you so much for the kind words, Shivani Di. I mean, I am a parent. Okay, just good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead. First, I'm Harshali Kharche from Nagpur. As you know, I'm a founder and director of SNIC, but I considered myself as a mother first, and then this founder and director things, because I'm a mother of two. They are on spectrum. So, I mean, Saamarthya thanking me, but I always want to thank Saamarthya because they are doing wonderful job for us. We are parent, and that we need it. So it's a need based this thing. SNIC is need based because this is for a parent and by the parent. But I always say Saamarthya has a motto to support it. They don't have reason to support the parent, because I have kids, so I'm obviously into it. So SNIC, basically, we are here to empower the parents of children with autism and all the disabilities, actually, all the abilities and disabilities, so that parent, they should get the peace of mind, satisfaction, and positivity. Because when parents are satisfied with child's development, then only they can concentrate on kids. So I'm here to connect the bridge between the professional and the parent, so that they should be sensitive enough to choose the parent, what kind of a right approach and the right professional they should be choosing. So they should know the basics of all the topics. So basically, I'm here to sensitize the society always and educate the parent. So for that, we are running a lot of things. Right now, we are online, shifted to online. So we are doing various awareness program offline also. But online, we are doing parent empowerment. We have done lots of sessions on financial advisory. And we give community supports, mental health as well as physical health. We have different groups and we have different professionals that are supporting us to give parents those kind of help for kids also and for them also. So overall, I'm trying to help parents in overall sense, not just one aspects of it, because I know when a child is there at home, how much it is important to look at the whole family. And that thing I get into Saamarthya. So I'm very much thankful to Saamarthya Foundation, Shivani Di, and its wonderful team. I always say that its team is also so much dedicatedly working for it, and I really appreciate their efforts. So I'm thank you each and every one of you who are here, and I would like to welcome my friend Jaspreet Kaur. She's a fantastic person and she's a parent also. She's principal and NIOS coordinator of Amrit Masonic School, special school in Noida. She has over 20 years of experience in special education. As you can see, she is a dedicated parent professional and NIOS advocate. She excels in creating academic structures and curriculum based on universal design for learning. I mean, she will speak and then you will know her knowledge very well. Last time we have seen. So welcome, lovely Jasmeet, Jaspreet.
Sorry,
Okay.
this is the bane most Sikh people have. I'm a Sikh by religion, so our names getting misspelled is very, very common for us. Hi, Ruchita. I'm sorry, I saw you head on. So, Shivani, my name has been misspelled all my life. Very, very
Oh, I'm
used to
so sorry about that. I apologize.
it. Moreover, you will have as many male Jaspreets as you will have female Jaspreets.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
have gender neutral names.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll correct that for sure.
I know. Okay, so hello everyone. Namaskar. I'm so happy to be here, and I think we can take what we started last time further. Basically, what we started was to uh, by demystifying what I've been using the word demystifying for all other webinars, primarily because the knowledge, it's not as if people don't know about the open school system. The knowledge, I think a bigger problem is not a lack of knowledge. The bigger problem has always been wrong knowledge. So somebody will ask a question and somebody else will answer, and a chain of confusion will start. Because and you know what this person had to do, the one who wanted to answer, they only had to open the NIOS prospectus. You saw a presentation last time, I'll be presenting again today. मेरा उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. I've simply taken stuff from a very beautifully written, very simply written document, which is the NIS prospectus. So there need not be the amount of confusion that is there. All you have to do is please not listen to people and open the prospectus. Okay, so can I take over? So what we did was, what we discussed last time was OB. As you know, I'll just take a minute and then I'll go to the presentation. Ekam, you okay? You want to say? So Ekam's a bit upset. Let her calm down, then she'll join us in 5 minutes. But she's hovering here. So for everybody who was not there last time, Ekam is my elder daughter. She's a person on special needs adult. She's a combination of two genetic syndromes. Prognosis काफी खराब था, but then that was doctor's job. It was my job to find solutions, and thankfully God showed me the way. But I followed the way. I will always say that I had the willpower. I had the intention, like Harshali will, I'm sure this will resonate with a lot of parents. Almost, I'd say 99.999% parents have the intention and the patience and the will to find resources to help their children. But then the X factor, whatever that is called, kismet hai, bhagwan hai, jo bhi hai, that also has to favor you. But I'm a very senior parent. I'm probably the senior to most parents here. If there's one takeaway that I can give you from this webinar, it would be, yes, there is the X factor. Yes, there is something called God. But I think all those things are a result of your effort. If you're ready to put in 2000%, and I never say 100%, if you're ready to put in 2000%, रास्ता दिखाने वाला हमेशा है. लेकिन अगर आप उस पर चलना शुरू नहीं करोगे तो सच में results नहीं मिलते. The one thing that really pays is if your occupational therapist tells you that you're coming to me thrice a week, and I would really appreciate if you would go home and do this at least once a day. When my occupational therapist asked me to repeat his routine once a day, I did it 12 times a day. So what the speech therapist would give me some exercises to be done twice, thrice a day. I would, when I say 12, I really mean 12 because, she would be awake for about 12 hours in a day. And the first 10 minutes of every hour was dedicated to the remediation. Now, again, this is something that I would really like to send out to parents. Discipline. When I said first 10 minutes of every hour, I really mean the first 10 minutes of every hour. Why the first 10 minutes? Because that made it accountable to me. आप जितना discipline लाएंगे, जितना structure लाएंगे, अपने efforts में, it gets, you get rewarded multifold, exponentially. And of course, you have to do 98% of the work. If you're doing 98%, and then you're expecting your child to do 2%, agar success nahi mili, you come in, talk to me. So, yes, a lot of work, a lot of hard work, researched hard work. रिक्शे वाला भी काम करता है, धीरू भाई अंबानी ने भी बहुत काम किया था. मेहनत दोनों ने की थी, लेकिन एक ही टारगेटेड थी, एक ही रिसर्च थी. So a lot of researched hard work, a lot of study on your part, a lot of patience. But all this is useless if it is not within a time bound and within a discipline structure. आपका discipline बहुत बहुत जरूरी है. There's an example I often give. I'll just take one aside and go to my presentation. My mother-in-law was my best friend. I knew when she'd pass away, she was very unwell. The day she passed away was a traumatic day for me, very, very. But Ekam was young, and in those times, 4 to 5 used to be her OT timing. So mom had left, I dressed her body and everything. But even that day, 4 to 5, I did Ekam's OT. So I'm talking about that kind of discipline and dedication. But I do know that day Ekam understood that come hell or high water, she will keep her promise. And her threats, of course, also. She's the, so that message is very, very important for your children. So when I look at Ekam, I really hope everybody is listening to this. This would be, if I had to put my entire, it's no longer 20 years, it's about 23 years now. If I had to put the entire 23 years into one line, I would say whenever I look at Ekam, 2 messages go out simultaneously. You're the sun and the moon to me. You're the most important thing in the world to me. But sweetheart, when I say jump, you better jump. So both the messages have to go out simultaneously. Yes, I'm your mother. When we sleep at night, I'll hug you. I'll do whatever a mother is supposed to do. But during the day, when we are at a table, one designated table in one designated corner, when we are on that table, I am your remediation person. At that point, I'm the ogre, I'm the Hitler, call me whatever. But उस समय बेटा सुनो. उस समय if I say jump, the only question you're allowed to ask me is how many times. Nothing beyond that. So that is very important. And I think that should be the same when you deal with schools and government institutions. Do your homework. You should know your 92 Act. You should know your 95 Act. You should know the 2016 Act. Your research should be done. In fact, I always used to carry printouts of these acts in my bag. But the fact is that when I have a younger daughter, neurotypical, when I go to her school, I go with my head bent. I respect the teachers. I bow to them. When I used to go to Ekam's remediation, I went with an equally bent head. I was just as grateful to them. So yes, do your research, be firm, but please always be very, very polite, because you need the society as much as the society needs you. So बहुत एक बड़ा मैंने देखा है parents में, this is entitlement. My child is disabled. I'm entitled to all this. You're entitled to only as much as you're entitled with your neurotypical child. In fact, I think keeping it as simple as possible, with a neurodivergent person mimicking, the lifestyle of a neurotypical person is the best policy forward. Okay, sorry, I talk a lot. So last time we did NIOS, we did the first part. NIOS basically National Institute of Open Schooling. It is a Government of India enterprise. I don't need to go into which department and all. You would anyway not remember. It's a Government of India enterprise. That says it all. तो अगर भारत सरकार ने कुछ किया है तो उनका सर्टिफिकेट ऑब्वियसली बहुत obvious सी बात है, मान्य होगा. If you're going from with an NIOS certificate, whether it is in the lower classes or 10th and 12th, nobody can say no to you. That's it. It finishes there. It's a Government of India issued certificate. National Institute of Open Schooling basically has 3 further parts. The first part is called OBE. कोई बहुत बड़ा हवा नहीं है OBE. NIOS simply says that because it's a distance education mode, don't come to us to give exams every year. You chose NIOS because there were some constraints. You were facing some constraints. आप रोज स्कूल नहीं जा सकते थे. You probably working, or you are unwell, or you've crossed your age limit. Okay. I don't know what that was. So you chose NIOS because you were not able to come to your study center or your school every day. So don't give exams every year. Give exams only 5 times. So when you give the first exam for level A, we expect that you should have the knowledge of first, second, and third NCERT books. NCERT books कह लो या फिर ये कह लो, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने जो रिकमेंडेशन दिया है, आपको वो नॉलेज होना चाहिए. When you come for your second exam, which is level B, तब आपको fourth और fifth का knowledge होना चाहिए. NIOS never said कि आपको fifth पढ़ा होना चाहिए. NIOS is expecting you to have the knowledge of fourth and fifth. Third level, which is level C, NIOS expects you to have the knowledge of 6th, 7th, and 8th. Now, this is where the problem starts. In my opinion, in my very firm opinion, the curriculum that has been decided by the National Curriculum Framework and which is, advocated through National Education Policy, अगर National Curriculum Framework के framework लिया जाए और education policy की recommendations ली जाए and NCERT की books देखी जाए, in my opinion, anybody with even a mild amount of challenge, anybody even with, an IQ of 80 to 90, even they, in all probability, will not be able to transact the NCERT class 8 curriculum. Because class 8 पे आके NCERT bifurcate हो जाता है. They, they go into physics, chemistry, bio, and history, civics, and geography. At class 9, your CBSE allows you to drop some subjects and choose some subjects. That is because they are saying from class 9 onwards, please start deciding the stream that you want to go towards. अगर आपको Hindi नहीं करना, if you don't want to become a linguist, if you want to do a science, then choose from 9th onwards, you're expected to start at least evaluating the choices you would like to make in 11th. हमारे बच्चे वो नहीं करते. A lot of people have come to me and said, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा, what are his choices? What is it that he likes to do? उनका रुझान समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मुझे honestly बहुत कम ऐसे बच्चे मिले जिनका कहीं रुझान होता है. There'll be a 0.05% people who will actually, understand and be able to, जिनको modeling का शौक है, who are able to actually stand in front of the mirror and understand what modeling is about. There's a 0.001% of students who are actually pick up a paintbrush and an easel and they're able to, translate what they're thinking on the easel. I'm talking about neurodivergent people here. There's a very small percentage of children who will be cooking not because almost all of them are foodies. So they'll be cooking not because they want to eat, but because they want to experiment with the ingredients present in front of them. So rujhan to chances hai. Okay, I really hope everybody gets that. I more often than not will be making politically incorrect statements. I say what I've seen, and I really do not. I'm polite, but I do not much fudge my words. मुझे नई बच्चे मिले, neurodivergent बच्चे मिले जिनका inclination मुझे समझ में आए. Ekam is now 21. She's had wonderful early intervention. Pretty balanced, the social quotient, the SQ, IQ, PQ, VQ, all the Qs are pretty well balanced. Still, after giving her a lot of choices, after she had, become crossed the age of 17, 18, that's when I realized that yes, slightly of all the things I exposed her to, she's slightly better at, directing other children. So as an assistant teacher, because what was happening was if I would stand outside the door and listen, she would be talking exactly she would be delivering a class exactly the way I would. So बहुत देर के बाद, after 3 to 4 years of very concerted efforts of exposing her to all the domains that I thought were doable. I realized that being an assistant teacher is something that she did best, and that too in the home science and the IT area. So that let's go back to the class 8 thing. At class 8 level C, NIS lets you do class C at a minimum age of 12. उस point तक, in my very firm opinion, a neurodivergent children, CWSN, children with special needs, adults with special needs, they have not yet figured out what is that they would like to do. So we're talking about the different levels, A, B, and C. Having come to C, I'll again say the same thing. Before we became a center, I was of the firm opinion that level C should not be done, because none of the students that I was mentoring or coming across were being able to transact the NCERT 7 or 8 curriculum. So which brings us to another, provision of NIOS. Like we discussed last time, आपको किसी भी stage पे prior certification नहीं चाहिए other than 12th. When you're applying, when you're filling up your 12th online form, then you need to have a 10th certificate, state board, NIOS, CBSE, ICSE, anything. But before that, levels A, B, C, and 10th, you do not need to have you need not have gone to school at all. You simply have to give a very simple declaration saying, I think I can study. So what we used to do was simply skip C and go to 10th. Because at 10th, what happens, the way you and I studied, हम लोगों ने अपना stream choose कर लिया होता है. Somebody who's good at painting would have, or somebody who's loves languages would have chosen the art field. Somebody who loves to, do bio would have chosen the medical field. So the subjects become more streamlined. They're no longer dispersed. You don't have maths as well as SST and science and everything. You're not being exposed to everything. You're expected to have chosen your genre. So we also, before we became a center, we realized that, now this is a message I would send out to a lot of people also. In cities where, provisions nahi hai, bahut अच्छे study centers nahi hai, A and B should be a confidence building exercise. Levels A and B, NIS also says, you're giving the child a bag with a set of books, and that is as normal as it gets. So A and B should be a confidence building exercise. मैं कर सकता हूँ. It should be an exercise in bringing discipline into their lives. You have these books, and this portion has to be finished in this month. It's not like an IAP, which is open-ended. Howsoever time-bound an IAP may be, for our students is usually, ends up being open-ended. So level A and B gives them books. आपको इस महीने में इतना syllabus पूरा करना है, उसको एक manner में करोगे तभी पूरा होगा. So it's supposed to bring in discipline, structure, and confidence into your lives. You have the certificate, you go to your grandparents. दादी माँ certificate मिला, मैंने 3rd कर लिया. Then when you meet your friends, brothers, and their parents ask you, आप कौन सी class में पढ़ते हो, wholly expecting you to not say anything. But when you say मैं class 5th में पढ़ता हूँ, आंखें बदल जाती है, देखने का तरीका बदल जाता है. That is what level A and B is about. From level C, very, very simply, you're supposed to start studying. From level C, we're going towards certification, we're going towards the future, the way everybody else does. So हमने last time OB discuss कर लिया. हमारे OB बिल्कुल center dependent होता है. It's completely autonomy of the study center. The study center that is called AA. Study center now I'm starting my today's discussion. At OB level, the study center will decide the books, the publication, the amount of उस किताब में से कितने chapters करने हैं. The questions papers will be set by the study center. The question papers will be checked by the study center. Marks will be given by them. Only the certificate will be issued by NIOS. NIOS ka role is only that 5%, where at the end of the year, after the study center has sent your marks to them, they will issue a joint certificate, where it will be an NIOS certificate which will be mentioning your study center's name. The entire onus is on the study center to till OBE level. Choosing the study center is the most important factor that will decide the success of your NIOS journey. So बहुत आराम से ध्यान से choose करो. I had given you an example of our center simply to tell you, what all can be done, what all can be expected. हमने अपनी किताबें लिखी हैं based on NCERT. So we discussed our center last time. Now, after having done level C or not having done level C, once your child has reached 14 years of age, and you decide you will now like to enter NIOS. यहाँ से हमारा academic journey चालू हो रही है. आपने C तक पढ़ा है. Till level C, you studied in NIOS. Till let's say class 4 or 5, you studied in mainstream. I'll again like to make a statement. I said earlier that in my opinion, class 7 and 8 are very difficult for our children. Quite frankly, beyond class 5, I've never seen a successful neurodivergent student in class 6. 5th तक manage करना बहुत सचमुच में easy होता है. I mean, काफी easy होता है. The curriculum is in a manner that can be adapted very easily. Even CBSE curriculum till class 5 is very functional. If you see the NCERT EVS books, they talk about very beautiful things from across India. It's a functional kind of curriculum. From 6, it becomes difficult. So, we're discussing who all go to class 10th. You have done level C, level B or level C, whatever from NIOS. You now feel you've done level B from NIOS and you feel that the level C being offered by your study center is not doable. You go straight to 10th. You've been at a mainstream school, you studied 4th or 5th class, but you've crossed 14 years of age, you choose 10th. You're in a special school where a lot of early intervention has been done. You believe, now from the parents' point of view, you feel that your child is able to read up to a point, is able to write up to a point, is able to understand up to a point. You believe all this about your child, but your study center, your special needs school is only offering you IEPs and you want a structure. So these are the people who will then be, trying to evaluate 10th. I'll tell you what, let me go to my presentation. Sorry. Yes. So that's me. The name of our school is Amrit Masonic Special School. We're actually volunteers at this place. Now let's start with this slide. What we're doing here is a comparison of OBE versus academic. I told you NIS primarily has 3 streams under it. One is OBE. OBE is the collective name for levels A, B, and C. And then you have academic, which is a collective name for secondary and senior secondary. And after that, you have several vocational subjects, 600 and more vocational subjects, which can be, which could be something as simple as mobile repair. Then could be refrigerator repair. Goes on to radiology. They also have a vocational course in radiology. So beautiful vocational courses. Here we are comparing OBE versus academic. Okay, so OBE we've done last time. Levels A, B, and C. These 3 are collectively called Open Basic Education, OBE. ये हो चुका है. A corresponds to 3rd, B corresponds to 5th, C corresponds to 8th. At levels A and B, a very quick recap. At levels A and B, you're supposed to take 4 subjects, 2 of which are compulsory and 2 are optional. What are the compulsory subjects? 1 language, 1 pre-vocational. These are the compulsory subjects. The rest of the 2 academic subjects are optional. You have a choice out of 4 subjects. We've discussed this last time. Once we go to level C, the 4 changes to 5. You are supposed to clear a minimum of 5 subjects. At all levels of NIOS, you can take a maximum of 7 subjects. OBE, academic, anywhere. That is the maximum. The minimum that you have to clear is 4. At level C, secondary and 10th. At all 3 levels, you have to clear, these 3 levels, you have to clear 5 subjects. Now level C, again, 2 compulsory subjects and 3 optional subjects. These also we discussed last time. The amount of choices at OBE level is not very vast. Like we had studied, you had 3 groups. A very quick recap. You have 3 groups of subjects. The first group is languages. Out of group 1, you can choose minimum 1 or maximum 2 languages. Then you have group 3, which is the pre-vocational group. Here you can choose, you have to choose only 1 subject. Like I explained last time, this is something very few study centers know, that out of the group 3 has 16 subjects. Okay, ye chhod dete hain. 1 subject from group C. one from group 1, which is languages, one from group 3, which is a pre-vocational subject, and then you have this group 2, which is academic subjects. वहाँ level A और B पे क्या choices हैं आपके पास? EVS, computers, and of course you have Hindi also. EVS, computers, maths, and then you also have an option of a second language. Remember I told you here you can take a maximum of 2 languages. So the optional here are EVS, computers, maths. Out of these 3, you have to choose 2. Not too many choices. Now at level C, you've chosen 1 language, 1 pre-voc, and the other 3 जो आपको choose करने हैं, आपके पास options कौन से हैं? EVS has split into science and SST. So you have SST, science, maths, computers. Out of these 4, you will choose any 3. Or you could choose 2 and choose another language also. I hope this is not confusing anymore. A and B, 4 languages, 4 subjects. Level C, 5 subjects. Now let's come to secondary. Actually, this is just a comparison. We'll be doing secondary and senior secondary in great detail. I'll be finishing with OBE right here. I was just doing one comparison and one for continuity's sake. Now academic. Academic has 2 parts, secondary and senior secondary. At both levels, you can choose a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 7 subjects. You can take the exams of all 7 also, and several children do that. लेकिन 5 subjects clear होते ही आपको certificate मिल जाएगा. Now, at level secondary and senior secondary, there is only 1 compulsory subject. At all 3 levels here, there were 2 compulsory subjects. At secondary and senior secondary, there is only 1 compulsory, and that is the language. I'd like to repeat again. When I say language, I'm not talking about the medium of study. आप medium of study कुछ भी choose कर सकते हो. Mediums of study it can be, I hope that was not a question. Mediums of study can be Gujarati, Bengali, English, Hindi, Medium of study alag hai. 1 language that you have to choose as compulsory. Again, 1 minimum and 2 maximum. Here also you can choose 2 languages. And then the rest 4, the 4 academics, 1 compulsory language and 4 academic. Here you have tons and tons of, choices. Last time we had opened the prospectus to show you the languages. I think that takes a lot of time. It is very, very simple. Please Google search NIOS academic prospectus this time. Last time we had done NIOS OBE prospectus. This time you will Google search NIOS academic prospectus. On page number 6 or 7 itself, you have these languages. Again, the same way that you had groups 1, 2, and 3 here, you will have groups here also. But here the choices are far, far more. Okay, so now one big, major area of confusion. In 21-22, which year was it? Vocational was brought in? I think 21-22. सिर्फ 3 महीने के लिए एक नोटिफिकेशन आया जिसमें ये बोला गया कि आपको वोकेशनल सब्जेक्ट कंपलसरी है. NIOS itself, several parents wrote to them, including me, and NIOS very soon realized that this was not feasible. Let's not go into it, but it was very simple that students with 10th and 12th certificates, जहाँ पे 1 vocational subject compulsory था, उनको colleges में admission लेनी मुश्किल हो रही थी. I'll just leave it at that. But NIOS very soon realized it was a mistake. Within 3 months, the notification was retracted and the vocational subject was still offered, but in an optional manner. So let me please repeat it again. Despite the fact that the vocational subject being compulsory, this rule went off 3 years ago. It is still being discussed. Vocational subject compulsory nahi hai. My personal suggestion, zarur lena chahiye. Till about first, there were, the number of subjects offered, I think, were 12 and 10. So remember I told you NIOS has 3 parts, OBE, then you have academic, and then you have the vocational part, which has more than 600 plus subjects. Just standalone vocational subjects. There's agriculture, there is toy making, there is, like I said, mobile repair, there's a radiology course. So beautiful, beautiful courses. What they did was, लेकिन problem क्या है, ये vocational courses करने के लिए आपको एक अलग type के center में जाना पड़ता है. That is going to be my next slide. The vocational courses could not be done at the same place where you were studying. For them, you had to go to a completely different vocational center. So this very nice provision was introduced that 10 subjects at secondary and 12 vocational subjects at senior secondary could be taken along with your 10th and 12th admission. और इनको पढ़ने के लिए आपको कहीं और नहीं जाना पड़ेगा, आपका स्टडी सेंटर ही ऑफर करेगा. All right, that is all the integration of vocational subjects means. बहुत बहुत बड़ा disputed topic है NIOS के में इस समय ये. Simply उन्होंने ये बोला कि of the 600 subjects, we are offering you 10 and 12 subjects which you can study at your own study center. These were wonderful subjects. Most of them were IT based. But again, the retraction has happened, and the current situation, I really can't emphasize this enough. The number of times I answer this question. The current situation is very, very simply, I can forward the notification to you. Secondary level pay 3 and 4. It's 3 and 4. It's either 3 and 4. Only 3 subjects at secondary level and 4 subjects at senior secondary level are now being offered. You can only have a choice of out of 3 or out of 4. But it is not compulsory. The 4 subjects can be academic, or they can be 3 academic plus 1 vocational. I hope this is very, very clear. Vocational subject is not compulsory. I'll come to the subjects also very soon. The subjects that are being offered. Okay, so
Jaspreet, I have a question here.
sure, ma'am.
These 3 subjects are standardized subjects, or which every center will be able to provide, or centers choose whichever 3 subjects they want and they offer to students?
Shivani, you've been fooling me. You said you didn't know much about NIOS. That was such a beautiful question. I mean, it should have come from somebody who's been inside the system. Absolutely right. You know, what was happening was, suppose tailoring, tailoring as a vocational subject. To be able to offer tailoring, the institute, the study center needed to have a huge infrastructure. So the final subjects, that is why this rule, that very beautiful rule that came in, that vocational subjects will be offered along with academic subjects, it had to be discontinued. One of the reasons was study centers did not have the infrastructure. And secondly, of course, that was, at college level, you needed 5 academic subjects and not 4 academic subjects. So anyway, but the subjects being offered now are primarily IT. For example, at class 10, you have basic computing, IT, and yoga. So these are subjects that can be very easily incorporated by study centers within their existing infrastructure.
And
That was a
in
wonderful
case
question.
any center has the capacity to pick up any other vocational course other than these 3, can they do that?
I think the next slide will explain that. Okay, let me do it right here. So, like I said, we have study centers, but study centers are not tackling AV. The next slide is going to answer your question. Okay, let me just go there. Sorry, I keep getting stuck here. Okay, just 2 minutes, Shivani. I'll just do this slide and we'll go to the next one. That'll answer your question. So, very, very quickly, this is a very, very simple slide. We've done it last time also. The only criteria, there are only 2 criteria to enter NIOS. One is you have to be an Indian citizen, and the second is you need to have a minimum age. So for level A, there is 7 years. For B, there is 9. For C, there is 12. Secondary is 14 years. Senior secondary is 15. I think there's another factor that I would like to explain right here. I think most people would know. Block 1 and Block 2. This is not rocket science. Very, very simply, if we all know NEP has now instructed all the boards in India to have multiple entry and exit points for students. For example, आप graduation कर रहे हो, so अगर आपने first year किया है और उसके बाद आप नहीं पढ़ पाए, doesn't mean that you're not a graduate. I'm sure everybody is read. Even if you've done just 1 year of graduation, you're still given a diploma. Similarly, if you so then within 5 years, if you come back to your college, you're allowed to go to the second year again. I hope everybody is read. So NEP has brought in multiple entry and exit points for all boards. NIOS has been offering multiple entry and exit points since it was incorporated. So And another thing that NEP has now started is, which has not yet been started, from 25-26, I've been told, at least the schools in Noida are going to implement the 2 exam system. CBSE has now instructed there are going to be 2 exams in 10th and 12th. Same thing has been happening in NIOS. These are public exams. Okay, वहाँ नहीं जाएंगे, वो लंबा topic है. So in 10th and 12th, you have exams twice a year, one in April, one in October. The April exam is called Block 1. The October exam is called Block 2. That's it. और कुछ नहीं है. यहाँ पे भी for some reason बहुत confusion होती है. Block 1, Block 2 क्या है? So Block 1 is simply, the exams that happen in April, and Block 2 are the exams that happen in October. Okay. This is slightly complicated. We can do this, on an individual basis. If you're applying for Block 1, you should be 14 years at 31st July. This we can do later. Block 2 की admission के लिए आपको January में 14 का होना होता है. This I think we can explain later. This also is a bit confusing, but that's it. What it basically amounts to is there are 2 exams in a year, which are called Block 1 and Block 2. और minimum age secondary की 14 है और senior secondary की 15 है. Okay, so now this will answer the question that was asked earlier. I didn't realize this was important. Within NIOS एक distance education mode है. They're expecting you to study at home, but you're going to be आपको एक study center choose करना पड़ेगा जहाँ जाके आप exams दोगे. So one of the most important parts of filling up the NIOS registration form is choosing the study center. Within NIOS, you have 3 kinds of study centers. One is called AA, the other is called AI, and there's a third one called AVI. Shivani, this is going to answer your question. AA is what you choose at OBE level. Okay. And AI is what you choose at academic level. For secondary and senior secondary, the study center you choose will be called an accredited institution. And that's it. There's a third kind of institute called AVI. This is where you go and do vocational subjects. I'm not talking about it here because I didn't realize that would be important. And AVI is an institute which will have a lot more infrastructure. So if suppose a center, we are an AA, we applied to NIOS to become an accredited agency. We went to NIOS, we told them we would like to offer the OBE levels A, B, and C courses at our school. And AI will go to NIOS and tell them that we would like to offer secondary and senior secondary at our institute. And AVI, when they go to NIOS and they say that these are the 10 vocational courses we would like to offer, the primary requirement is they need to have the entire infrastructure. हमको OBE बनने के लिए कुछ fixed requirements थी. 10 teachers होने चाहिए, इतना area होना चाहिए, science lab होना चाहिए, library होनी चाहिए. AI बनने के लिए requirements थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा हैं. You have to be an RCI certified, RCI registered institute. For an AVI, the primary requirement is that you are supposed to have that infrastructure. Now the problem was, since this question is brought up, I was not planning on going into this. Like my daughter, when Ekam did her 10th, at that point, this, provision had not come in. कि आप vocational subjects academic के साथ कर सकते हो. I was very keen for her to do the jewelry making course. Let's take just an example. There's a student A in 2020, in the year 2020, this student, along with the 5 subjects he's studying, he would also, along with the 5 subjects he's studying, he would also like to do one of the vocational courses being offered. It could be jewelry making, it could be mobile repairing. This student had to take 2 admissions. One to an academic, he had to fill one academic form and he had to fill a separate vocational form. And then he had to clear the exam separately in 2 different places. Academic to uska AI mein hoga, vocational AVI mein hoga. Aur uske baad, but once he cleared, then they were merged into the same certificate. So in 21, this provision was given that a fixed number of vocational subjects, which were primarily AI and food industry based, IT and information technology and food industry based. These were introduced to what they said was that these courses, they were generalized courses. They were courses that did not need too much of infrastructure. So it was said that for these courses, you will not need to take a separate admission. You will not need to go to a separate place. You could study these courses along with your academic subjects. They could be a part of these 5 subjects, or they could be additional subjects. So it could be 4 academic and 1 vocational, or it could be 5 academic and 1 vocational. I hope I answered that question, but this is no longer, valid. So now we are offered just 3 subjects at 10th level and 4 subjects at 12th level. But even then, these subjects are phenomenal. They're primarily IT subjects. I'll come to the subjects also very soon. I would very, very, very strongly recommend that these vocational subjects should be a part of your 5 subjects. They should not be additional subjects. That is what we recommend. So very quickly, let's do this slide. Actually, not very important. This is what AA does. I will, in 1 minute, summarize it. Like we studied last time, AA has full autonomy, does everything. That's it. AI has very limited role in a student's life. Once you go to 10th and 12th, you are completely governed by your regional center. So you have one head office, NIOS head office, which is in Noida, and they have 23 regional centers spread across India. So the student's life is in the hands of, let's say, the head office or the regional centers. The study centers, which are called AIs, they only transact, they are only needed for exam taking. Sorry. The curriculum, the books are standardized. They have been decided. They are printed by NIOS. Once your admission is, the documents are verified and your I-card has been issued, the books will be sent to your homes free of cost. The correspondence address that you had filled in. Books common है across India. आप उनको घर पे पढ़ो, अपने आप पढ़ो, मदर की हेल्प से पढ़ो, किसी स्टडी सेंटर पे जाके पढ़ो, टीचर की हेल्प से पढ़ो, but you do self study. These materials are called self-learning materials. You study at home, and at the end of the year, or whenever you think you're ready, you go to your chosen study center and you give your exam. So the role of the study center is simply to be a place where you go and give your exams. At this point, there are a couple of very important things like that I'd like to point out. This is what your study center does. What is PCP? Big question. Major confusion around it. One of the most beautiful aspects of the student's life cycle. But I would still say 80% of people, 80% of Indians in the NIOS system are still not aware of it. PCP का full form है Personal Contact Program. जब भी हम कोई डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन करेंगे, हमें अपने स्टडी सेंटर पे जाके कुछ क्लासेस अटेंड करनी पड़ेंगी. They are called Personal Contact Program. Now let's take, I think best way to explain was example लेते हैं. आपने 2 सब्जेक्ट्स लिए हैं. My handwriting is usually way better than this. English और एक आपने लिया पेंटिंग. English is a theory subject. There is no practical component to it. It's a 100-mark paper, 100 theory. Painting is a practical subject. It is divided into 60 plus 40. 60 is the practical component and 40 is the theory component. Now, PCP is primarily concerned with the practical component. English में, for every theory subject, your study center has to give you, offers you, I think I'm going to, can I get a plain slide? अच्छा चलो मैं यही लिखती हूँ, forget it. I'll write here only. Please listen to what I'm going to say. English में, for every theory subject, your study center will give you 30 hours of personal contact program per theory subject. These are not mandatory. These are doubt clearing classes. ये classes usually Friday और Saturday को होती है. और study center आपको offer करता है. What they are expecting you to do is study at home and whatever doubts you have, come and clear them with us. These are not mandatory. Now, please listen very carefully. We're going to a practical subject. Again, I'm taking painting. Painting का practical component था 60. 60 is split into 2 parts, 30 plus 30. We all heard of FA and SA. Let's not do that. PCP for theory is 30 hours, not at all mandatory, entirely up to you. Doubts hai to jao, nahi hai to mat jao. The PCP for the practical component is mandatory. It's not just mandatory, it is the most beautiful part of your, entire year. ये 30 marks PCP को allotted है और बाकी के 30 marks आपके practical exam को allotted है. That one day exam that you have. So when you, for every practical subject, यहाँ पे 30 hours था. For a practical subject, your center is supposed to offer you 1 to 5 PCP classes. Minimum 1, maximum 5. My experience is nobody gives more than 2 classes. What is PCP for a practical subject? When you go for the PCP, the center is supposed to train you for the practical exam. वो आपको practical file, it is mandatory for them to show you a sample of the practical file. They will tell you, explain the entire practical to you. 5 questions आएंगे, आपको 3 करने होंगे. कौन से expected 5 questions हैं? वो बताएंगे. They will, there is an art teacher in our study center where we go. We are only an AA. We are not an AI. हम किसी और जगह जाते हैं अपने स्टडी सेंटर में. वहाँ पे बहुत ही कमाल के आर्ट टीचर हैं जो 2 या 3 क्लासेस में they will, gauge the level of the student. यही बच्चे प्रैक्टिकल में आने वाले हैं. So they will gauge the level of the student. They will, instruct them. उनको practice करवाएंगे क्या क्या आ सकता है. So the personal contact program is the time when the study center is supposed to prepare you completely for your exam. और सिर्फ attend करने से आपको up to 30 marks मिल सकते हैं. सिर्फ PCP attend करने से, जहां पे study center आपको train करेगा, आपको 50% of the practical marks मिल जाएंगे. So on the final day, you will be tested only for 30 marks. I really hope everybody understood this. अगर इस पे कोई भी doubt हुआ, I would love to repeat this again and again, but we can do that a little later. I will summarize very quickly. PCP is personal contact program. Your study center has to give you 30 hours of personal contact program for every theory subject. These 30-hour classes are doubt clearing classes. They are not mandatory. They do not give you any marks. आपका जाना भी जरूरी नहीं है और आपको इसके लिए मिलता भी कुछ नहीं. But for the practical subjects, for the practical component, there are only 1 to 5 personal contact classes. In these classes, the study center will prepare you for your final practical exam, and also you will be scoring up to 30 marks. हमारे स्टडी सेंटर में हमें 25 से 30 मार्क्स हमेशा यहाँ जाने से मिल जाते हैं. This is the PCP. So what is the roles of the study center? The first role is they will give you the schedule for the PCP classes. They will conduct 30 hours of PCP classes for every theory subject. They will conduct 1 to 5 PCP classes for every practical subject. Then they will conduct the exams, both the practical and the theory. And then they will evaluate only the practical exams and the TMAs. I'll come to the TMA in a minute. वो आपकी theory exams test OB level पे आपका school ही आपके question paper check करता था. यहाँ पे आपका study center आपकी answer sheets check नहीं करेगा. You will go to the study center, you will take your theory exams. We'll come to this also later, but I'll say it right now. The answer sheets for special needs children are packed separately in a separate envelope. They are sent to special educators. They are meant to be evaluated by special educators, not by normal teachers. So the study center will simply bag your answer sheets and send them to the regional center. They will not check, they will not assign the marks. But yes, the practical exam marks and the TMA marks are assigned by your study center. I think TMA की अलग से slide नहीं है ना? I'll explain the TMA right here, please.
I have another question here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there is a provision of, using any gadget or, hours or anything during the exam. How those things are then evaluated? Are they sent to the center? How that digital, if the child has given digital exam, how that exam reaches to the evaluator?
I'll take an example of a computer. Home science exam is going on. There are 2 students. One student writes on an answer sheet. The other student types on the computer. Answer sheet भेज दी जाएगी और computer पे जो type हो उसको save करके print out लेके भेज दिया जाए. The same thing is done with ours. The answers are stored. They're saved, and again a printout is taken and sent to the regional center. Digital copies are not sent.
Oh,
Does
okay.
it answer your
Okay.
question?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll be coming to slide. You're always preempting my slides. I'm coming to that also soon. TMA. I'm sorry. Actually, पिछली बार क्या हुआ था? I really ran over time. I think I'm going to do that again this time. So I deliberately cut down the slides, but TMA की slide होनी चाहिए थी. Okay. TMA is tutor marked assignments. Very very important line जो बोलने वाली हूँ, please सुनो. क्यों TMA का valuation क्या है? 20% of the theory marks. Let's do a test. Shivani, in English, how much would the TMA be worth? English is a 100 mark paper. 20 marks, no? For a paper that is worth 100 marks, 20% of 100 is 20 marks. So the TMA will be worth 20 marks.
20
right?
marks.
Okay. Let's say practical. Painting. Painting में आपका theory सिर्फ 40 marks का है. So 20% of 40 is 8 marks. So your TMA will be worth only 8 marks. पर होता क्या है? आप जब TMA is a tutor marked assignment. Every TMA has 6 questions, 5 theory and 1 practical. They are uploaded on the website, student dashboard. So the moment you take an admission, a small portion of the NIOS website is assigned to you. That is called your student dashboard. आपके student dashboard पे भी आपके TMAs upload हो जाते हैं और website पे भी TMAs upload हो जाते हैं. TMA क्या है? हर subject के लिए 6 questions हैं, 5 theory and 1 practical. You download those questions. You are supposed to research them. You know, you given 4 to 5 months to submit them. You're expected to research these questions, write them down on a piece of paper, make a PDF out of it, and then upload it online. I'm sure this is something everybody knows. TMA is no longer submitted in hard copies. TMA is also uploaded, on the student dashboard. Problem क्या आती है? जब भी आप TMA download करोगे, on every TMA you will see 20 marks written. Whether you download the English TMA or the painting TMA, I hope everybody is understanding. I'm not talking about just painting. Painting is an example of a practical subject. So whether it's a theory subject or a practical subject, TMA के ऊपर 20 marks लिखा होगा. But you have to please understand that the valuation will not be out of 20. English की valuation तो 20 में से होगी. The valuation is out of 20% of the theory marks. Painting में, even though the TMA will say 20 marks, you may write the TMA answers, you will upload. लेकिन आपको marks 8 में से मिलेंगे. उनकी एक internal calculation होती है. This is a big, the moment the results are released, which is going to happen the next 2 days, Shivani, at least 100 messages that I get are कि 20 marks का हमने दिया था, इतना अच्छा TMA दिया था, pictures भी लगाए थे, हमें सिर्फ 8 marks मिल गए. 8 marks is the maximum you can stop. So please understand, TMA पे 20 लिखा होगा, but the valuation of TMA is only 20% of the theory marks. This is an internal calculation they do. So the TMA now, I just said that it is the study center's responsibility to evaluate a TMA. And I also said the TMA is uploaded online. The reason is, this is something that is not given in the prospectus, but your TMAs that you write and you upload are sent to your own study center. Always, more often than not. Okay. So the study center's role is only limited to evaluating your practical exams and your tutor marked assignments. Any confusion here? Vaishali, Shivani, was it a bit clear?
Yes,
I
think it was. There are a few questions on the chat, but I don't think there is one on
Do
PC.
you want to take them right now?
It's
While
up
the slide
to
is still on?
It's up
I
to
can.
you. Yeah.
वो ना वापस आना पड़ता है. See, OB was a small thing. 10th and 12th is so many segments. I think let's address them.
Dora, do you want to start, just addressing the questions? I think there's only 3 we have for now. So let's go ahead with that.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, now I'm going to come out for just 1 second, or I could do it here only.
Jaspreet, only one suggestion. Mr. Pankaj wants you to explain TMA again. If you can just explain that, please.
Sure. In fact, sir, Pankaj, I have a suggestion. In 2 slides down, I will be discussing something जहाँ पे TMA का बहुत बड़ा role होगा. वहाँ पे जाके revise करते हैं. You'll probably understand better. Okay. So for the moment, let's do this. Now we are forgetting this part completely. Right now we are at an AI. accredited institute. Just a second. I think I've written it wrong. Accredited institution. Institution likha hua hai. Guys, this is wrong. Institute. Actually, I couldn't see it under. There are two kinds of AI. Very, very important. I am sure we यहाँ पे सिर्फ neurodivergent बच्चों के parents हैं. ये आपके लिए बहुत बहुत जरूरी बात है. Mostly लोगों को पता भी होगी. There are two kinds of AI. See, NIOS was meant for anybody who was not being able to transact the traditional educational system. आपकी age ज़्यादा होगी, whatever reasons. So, NIOS में अभी भी, according to the statistics, 96% बच्चे जो NIOS join करते हैं वो neurotypical होते हैं. Our percentage is only 3 to 4% special needs children. And AI is an accredited institute for normal people. And like I said, I use a lot of politically incorrect statements for neurotypical people. There is another kind of AI which is called, now I'm going to the, just give me a second, let me erase. This other thing that we're going to is here. I've described the other kind of center, especially in a different slide. These are called SAID centers. What does a SAID center mean? It is an AI, all right, but it is a special AI for the education of disabled. Till 2 years ago, this was D used to represent disadvantaged, but now it has been changed to only disabled. There are some AIs which will be for neurotypical people. There'll be some other AIs which are called SAID centers, which are only for the education of disabled children. These centers are always special schools. So, अगर एक स्पेशल स्कूल AI बनेगा और आप उसको अपने बच्चे का स्टडी सेंटर चूज करेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली आपको बहुत सारे एडवांटेजेस मिलेंगे. So for special children, I would highly recommend that before filling in the form, put in a lot of effort or reach out to us. We have the list. Please always choose a SAID center as far as possible. The problem is in most of cities of Indian cities, there are very, very few SAID centers in India. But अगर आपकी vicinity में है, तो please SAID center choose कीजिए. First advantage. Okay, this one. I told you earlier that the AI's role is only to conduct exams. In a regular AI, only the practical exams are conducted. The theory exams will happen at a different center. Now for our students, let's say for a child on the autism spectrum, एक center से habituate होना, very difficulty. Your son, your daughter got habituated to the first center while giving exams. And then you're expecting this child who has a lot of, sensory issues to go to a different center to give the exams. So that is what an AI does. But if you choose a SAID center, your theory and practical will happen at the same center. Primary advantage. These are CWSN friendly. They're special schools. So if a child, let's say an ASD child has a meltdown or is oversensitized, is overstimulated, then a SAID center will have an OT place. They will have an occupational therapist. They will probably have, a remediation professional. So these centers are CWSN friendly. Theory and practical subjects happen at the same center. But for choosing a SAID center, a disability certificate is mandatory. In the last webinar, last week, I told you that till OBE level, contrary to what a lot of study centers say, a disability certificate is not at all necessary. But for admission at levels 10th and 12th, especially if you want to choose a SAID center, the most important requirement is your disability certificate or a UDID card. Okay. Now, this is how you locate a SAID center. I keep coming out again and again. Oh, shit. What is that going to say about me? I'm not going to say I disconnected. I will say it's all again. It's not even going.
We are still live.
Wonderful.
Yeah. We can
Must
see.
be there somewhere. Then it must be there somewhere, Joshua. I can't see Zoom. Yeah, all time. Wait. Hold all time. Yes. Ekam, you want to come here? Yeah. Okay. So just a second, I'll definitely have to go in again. I've done something. Completely gone out of Zoom.
दिख नहीं रहा मैं I thought you came out.
Jaspreet, it gives me so much hope. I'm not the only one who doesn't understand Zoom.
But you are still on there. I mean, you are
Yeah,
still
we can see you. We can see
Zoom
you.
is not there on our dashboard or on the taskbar at all.
Oh, that's strange because you are in Zoom and just that we didn't see your PowerPoint. That's about it, but we can see you all. I think they lost their internet maybe. Hang in there, parents. I'm sure they'll be back very soon. Yeah, looks like they have a connectivity issue.
Meanwhile, we have a very interesting question from a parent. I think it'll be for benefit of every parent.
They have joined the meeting again, so hopefully it'll work. Let's just give them a minute. Yeah, they've joined back. Hi, can you all hear? Can you hear us? You're back in the Zoom meeting, and we'll just put the spotlight back on you, and you can share your screen then. Yeah, just give me a second. I'm doing that. Just give me a second. Go ahead, you're a co-host now.
I was not being able to unmute myself. I'm sorry, I'm
Okay,
going
okay,
to
go.
quickly go inside. It's already 7. Akam is reminding me. So Akam again from last time. Shivani, you have to say hi.
Hi, Ekam. Good to see you. How are you? Good. Wonderful. Wonderful, Ekam.
Just 1 second. So
thank you, Shivani auntie or Shivani ma'am. What should I call her?
Auntie is good. Shivani auntie is better than
Okay.
Shivani ma'am. We'll talk again, Ekam, okay? After your mom's session is done. Yeah?
Okay. After that, I have to make sure salad for dinner today.
Okay.
the gist of the day, what happened today is, limited to I had this for breakfast and this for lunch and all. Okay. No mouse control. अभी तो मुझे लग रहा है कुछ हुआ है definitely. If we go to the presentation mode.
No, somebody is.
I think you're already in the presentation. Sorry, 1 second, please. Technical problem.
I think you just need to go into the slideshow mode. The presentation you can see, just go into the slideshow. Then you'll be fine.
I was already in the slideshow. It wasn't coming on.
Control कुछ नहीं दिख रहा ना?
कुछ
It's
भी नहीं
on
दिख रहा.
now.
No,
अभी
no,
आ
we
गया
can,
है.
we can
No,
see
ma'am,
it.
We
I
can
don't have
see
any
your
control. I don't have any control. The mouse is not working. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I was in the bag, laptop bag,
What's in the laptop bag?
the mouse.
Mouse. Okay, now I was talking about this mouse. Become the laptop mouse. See, I'm moving it. Josh was moving it. We can't see that cursor, no? It's come now. But what did I do? So बड़ा blunder किया किया.
ठीक है.
We're already anyway late. So, I'll start. The
So
last
here,
line on the slide, the last line that you see on the slide, when I said you can yourself locate your SAID center easily, this is the link that you can use to.
Wait, I need to find the controls.
Okay, our controls are kind of gone. Joshua's doing something here, but I'll keep talking in the meantime. So the last line that you see here, locate study center, or you could simply Google search NIOS study center. That's a very, I would say it's one of the smarter things to do before you go into the NIOS system. Try to look for study centers around you, and when you put in this locate study center, there's a special field to look for the SAID centers. So as I said, very few SAID centers in India, but if you're able to find a SAID center around you, even if it is slightly farther away, that makes the journey a lot more easier to choose a study center. Controls नहीं मिल रहे. I'm sorry, something definitely has happened, and I'm not sure.
Can
I don't think I
I
have done this.
suggest something in the
Please,
meantime
please,
while
please.
you're trying to figure out the
Can we
mouse?
send you the
Maybe you can
presentation?
Maybe you can share your
address the
Presentation,
presentation with
yes.
us. We will
Yes.
play it from here.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Or
also
wait,
the questions that are in the chat box, maybe we can answer those at this
Take
time.
the questions. Take the questions.
yes, actually, let's take the questions while Joshua tries to work this.
Yeah. Dora, can you go ahead and start from the
ma'am.
top? Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
So the first question that we have is that, is it possible to be in AI and AVI at the same time? If the AVI center has a vocational subject, which we choose?
Okay, so I think there are two layers to this question. A center can be AA, AI, AVI, all three of them together. For example, the center that we go to is all three of them. But despite that, when my daughter, as I told you, she had to take, the vocational subject separately. Even then, within the same campus, the AVI will be slightly apart. Was that the question? Yes, a center can be AVI and AI both. But like I said, okay, let's do it another way. You're offered only 3 subjects at secondary level. That can be integrated with academic. If you want any other subject, you will still have to do a separate admission. Done. Joshua is a genius. He's figured it out. Okay. So was that the question or did I get it wrong?
Probably I'll just
Your center can be A and AVI both. But if you want to choose any other subject other than the 3 subjects being offered to you in the integration mode, then you will have to take a separate admission, even when it is on the same campus.
Thank you, ma'am. Should we continue with the questions, or are you continuing with the presentation?
Ma'am, I think further on, actually, we've kind of explained quite a bit of the tricky part. It should not take all that long now. For example, this slide is just my interpretation of my journey and, of any other journey that has been successful. I know of so many people who started NIOS but left it midway, because at OB levels, it is because of the curriculum. At AI, at the academic level, it is because of the study center. They've not chosen or they were not able to find a SAGE center, and the study center they chose were not empathetic enough. So choosing a conducive AI, is actually very, very important. I have a suggestion here. आपके आसपास SAGE center नहीं है. You had to choose a regular school as an AI. Now, what is going to happen in the regular school? It's a center where you will be going only for your exams. When you go for your exams, of the 40 students, let's say 38 will be neurotypical children who will be able to navigate the campus, the teachers, the question papers, the environment on their own. And there'll be 1 to 2 special needs children who will need help with the environment at least. Now, can we at least reduce the stress? If of being able to navigate the environment, how can you reduce the stress? Don't go to the study center. That is a mistake a lot of parents do. आपने एडमिशन ले ली, उस समय स्टडी सेंटर चले गए, उनसे बातचीत कर ली, आपने पूछ लिया आप क्या सपोर्ट दोगे क्या नहीं दोगे. After that, you're going straight for your practical exam. That is the biggest blunder that I have seen people make in their NIOS journey. So whether SAID or otherwise, it is a study center that you're going to be taking just your exams, but please go to them earlier also. For example, with our study center, we make it a point we've taken special, they all give you permission. We go once a month, or else when they have the Diwali Mela, when they have the excursions, we accompany them. Suggestion here is that please go to the study center throughout the year so that your student gets acclimatized to the environment. They know where the bathrooms are. They're familiar with the teachers. And if possible, if the study center allows you, nothing better than having your student sit in the class, once a month for just one class with the rest of the students, so that the others get used to him. In a SAGE center, this would not be needed all that much because it will be a special school. All the rehabilitation facilities will be there. But if you're not able to find a study center, then please don't take what I'm saying lightly. This is one of the most important suggestions I can give you. Please acclimatize habituate your student to the environment. Okay, so I think this slide is where I told you I'll be able to answer the TMA question. last year, a drastic paradigm shift, was brought to the academic system, NIOS. Sweeping changes were made, which basically translated to these 4 points. ये changes already हो चुके हैं. In changes के बाद first public exam हो चुका है. The exam that happened in April this year incorporated all these changes. So they have been tested on the ground now. The first is all these changes primarily, okay, first and foremost, you can find it here. Let me just explain. So what was happening till now was, when you applied to NIOS secondary, there is no 9th standard in AIMS, right? So when you applied to NIOS secondary, you were expected to study the 9th and the 10th curriculum both, which is what made the curriculum so expansive. There are 2 English books, 2 fat English books, 28 chapters. Home science at the secondary level has 8 modules and 22 chapters. Again, 2 fat books. This was happening because, the NIOS 10th curriculum was covering the syllabus of both 9th and 10th. So to make it easier on the students, and in all fairness, last year, 40% of the syllabus was deducted from the theory exams and was put into TMAs. A very, very important thing that I would like to add here, which I'm quite sure a very small percentage of people know. ये जो 40% syllabus निकाला गया था, उसको वो लोग foundational chapters कहते हैं. ये तो notification and your prospectus says 40% of the foundational chapters have been removed from the main curriculum and are now going to be tested only through your TMA. What does a foundational chapter mean? In home science, chapter number 13 is safety. It tells you all about the accidents that can happen in your house and how you should be prepared for them and what is the first aid that needs to be done. It actually translated a very long story, but I'll cut it in short. When we came back from a trip, the first one to detect a gas leak in the house was Ekam. And that is because we had done that chapter elaborately. That chapter has been put into TMA. Now, most parents are of the opinion कि TMA में इसलिए डाला गया है syllabus को कम करने के लिए. TMA में इसलिए डाला गया है ताकि वो 40% chapters आप बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ो. If for the final exam, let's say you're rote learning or your scribe is helping you write the exams, that's wonderful. But the chapters that NIOS considers very, very important, those chapters have been put into TMA so that you research them, and when you write about them, you learn them better. So anyway, the end result is, for example, in English, there are now only 17 chapters so there were 28. I think I'll take this example. There were 28 chapters, and I'm talking about English. This is 202, code number 202, English 10th. 28 chapters. It has 9 poems. There are only 9 poems. Okay. Actually, that take a long time. I think let's not go there. If there's a question, I'll answer that. So the curriculum has been drastically reduced. But I really hope everybody takes it in the right way. By 40%. I was going to explain the 70-30 rule also. That'll take a long time. So the curriculum has been reduced by 40%. It has become a lot more easier. Changed question paper pattern. This is something that all of us were dreading a lot. Because the number of multiple choice questions, the number of 1-mark questions has been increased drastically. They're not putting an exact figure at it, but it's about 50%. So, कुछ लोगों को लगा question paper बहुत easy हो जाएगा. हम सबको बहुत डर लग रहा था. Because, when you have a 2-marker question, you write something, you might score 1 mark. But in 1 markers, it's either 1 or 0. But the question papers that came in April this year, where, reassured all of us, the question paper pattern, yes, has changed. In English, for example, you only have 1 markers, 2 markers, and 3 markers. There are no longer 4 and 5 marker questions. The question paper style has changed. It's now split into 2 sections. But it's still doable. It's still easy. The question paper was very nice this year. So the question paper pattern has changed. Extra 15 minutes have been assigned. This is a small change. All NIOS exams start at 2:30 in the afternoon. But now at 2:15 पे पहले ही आपको अंदर ले जाया जाता था to write in, to fill in the top layer of the answer sheet, your name, your enrollment number. Now you're allowed to enter the hall at 2 o'clock. so that you're only given the question paper for the first 15 minutes. So you just read the questions. 15 minutes of reading time has been allotted. This actually might not sound too good, but it's a very good change. And earlier, this was a big problem. The PCPs had to be finished in the first year. I think aaj wo nahi kiya na 5 years wala. We did it in the last time, but I'm sure all of you know that every level of NIOS, every registration is valid for 5 years. आप 5 साल तक एग्जाम्स दे सकते हो, you get multiple options, multiple times to take the exams. So earlier, please, this is a change that is not yet, that most people are not familiar with. I'd say 80% of the study centers are not familiar with this. So please listen to this carefully. पहले PCP first year of registration में करना पड़ता था, mandatory. Suppose you've taken 3 practical subjects. You have painting, you have data entry operations, and you have basic computing. And in the first year, you were planning on taking the exam of only painting. So automatically you decided कि हम PCB भी सिर्फ painting का करेंगे. On the days that the DO practical is, all this is being done by Ekam, the light shifting. So on the days that the DO practical was going to happen, DO PCP was going to happen, हम लोग नहीं जाएंगे. हमको सिर्फ painting का exam देना है, painting का PCP कर लेंगे. They got a very rude shock because next year उनको PCP allowed ही नहीं होता था. This has been taken off. Most study centers don't know that. Now you don't have to complete all your personal contact programs in the first year. You can do them at any time in the next 5 years. So अब आप ऐसा कर सकते हो. अगर आप सिर्फ पेंटिंग का एग्जाम दे रहे हो तो सिर्फ पेंटिंग का PCP अटेंड करो. नेक्स्ट ईयर जब DO का एग्जाम दोगे तब DO का PCP अटेंड कर लेना. So, I always say, if parents are aware of their rights, then even if the study center is aware or not. Oh, yes. Good, Joshua sir. This is not going away. There's some lag. Okay, whatever. The question paper is bilingual. This is a very rude shock I got the first time Ekam took her exams. हर क्वेश्चन पेपर में एक क्वेश्चन 2 बार दिया होता है, पहले इंग्लिश में फिर हिंदी में. This is something you'll have to get exact same way that the CBSE question paper is at 10th. So for our children, it is very confusing. वो आधा पेपर हिंदी में दिख रहा होता है, आधा इंग्लिश में दिख रहा होता है. So just, on an aside, when you are preparing your children in the last 1 month at least, make sure that you also start practicing on a bilingual question paper. This is not clearing, whatever it is. Well, I'll just go to the next one. It's cleared. The exam relaxation is very, very simple. Everybody knows. Let's not waste time here. You're given 1 hour extra per exam. Most important, amanuensis is the technical word for scribe. I'm sure everybody here knows that parents are allowed to be, not parents. Next of kin. Please listen to this. The notification says next of kin is allowed to be scribe. Who is the next of kin? Real parents, real grandparents, and real siblings. Okay, so you are allowed to now scribe. Again, even this year's public exam in April, I think we came across at least 7 to 8, requests from parents कि हमारे study center बोल रहा है parents को scribe नहीं बनने देंगे. I had to then send them the notification or had somebody from the head office speak to this regional center and tell them that you are allowed. Parents and siblings are not allowed. You can bring your own computer and assistive devices. Provide examination. This is not important. The environment has to be conducive. If somebody is on a wheelchair, their examination hall should be on the ground floor. If somebody needs help, there are some students, who come to take the exam who are active, only the upper portion of the body is active, but yet they've come to take the exam with the help of a scribe or an assistive device. The study center is expected to offer them as much support as a neurodivergent student needs. Caregiver chahiye, caregiver milega. Somebody needs to push the wheelchair, wo milega. They need assistance to go to the washroom, wo milega. Very important, very, very important. How do you avail these provisions? Why I'm saying important is, prospectus में तो लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन parents को पता नहीं होता, study centers को भी नहीं पता होता. TMA is a completely online process now. The form is completely online, but the application for any of the provisions is still offline. It is not an online process. Whoever needs to do it, this will take a long time. You have to fill up the requisite forms. You have to collect the requisite documents, and UDID card is mandatory, most important document. आपको ये सारा अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स का फोल्डर लेके फिजिकली अपने रीजनल सेंटर में जाके सबमिट करना पड़ता है. सो स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम मुंबई हैव टू गो टू पुणे टू सप्लाई टू no, Pune also takes speed post. Pune takes speed post. Pune is one of the nicer regional centers. Not all of them do. Pune also takes, but it has to be a physical copy of the documents. It is still not taken through an email. The permission to use permission, आपने application दिया extra. You can apply for more than one provision also. Suppose you've applied for extra time as well as a scribe. You will have to submit the hard copies, whether by speed post or physically to the regional center, but the permission letter is sent to you by email. In some centers, in Noida, it is not sent by email. In Pune, I know for a fact it is sent by email. And they also accept, speed post. Okay, so provisions. Non-state centers, a very good point Sir has brought up. चाहे AI हो, चाहे state center हो. Again, this is something very, very surprising. A lot of parents will write to us. हम study center के पास, we went to the study center, we spoke to them beforehand. हम उनके पास exam से 1 month पहले गए थे, we spoke to them. We told we'll be needing a scribe. The NIOS coordinator said, of course you can take a scribe. But now, yesterday when I went for the exam, she said, you don't have the letter, you will not be allowed to sit. You will not be allowed to help your student. You have, the verbal thing doesn't work. You have to put in your application to the regional center, get the requisite, approval. It's on a page with your photo stuck on it. और आपकी photo के ऊपर stamp लगी होती है. आप वो photo किसी और scribe के साथ change नहीं कर सकते. You have to take the physical, approval letter, and it's only when you submit this approval letter at your study center that they will give you the provisions. Now, what happens in a normal center is, what happens in normal AI is, these provisions are allowed only to neurodivergent students, not to normal children, not to the neurotypical population, doesn't get extra time or scribe or anything. So AIs are not aware of these provisions. It is not, they should be aware, but because the percentage of neurodivergent population coming to them is only 1 to 2%, more often than not, they will not know ये provisions allowed हैं. तो वहां पे आपको दोनों चीजें करनी है. You have to go to them well before the practical exam. For practicals also, by the way, since last year, you're now allowed a scribe. Very before the practical exam, you should go to the NIOS coordinator. Every school that is an NIOS center, whether AI or SAID, will have one NIOS coordinator. They will always be a dedicated teacher. The first step is, please don't go talk to anybody. Find out from the website or from the inquiry center, whatever, who the NIOS coordinator is. Speak only to them, because often parents will go and speak to other teachers who will keep distracting them more. Speak to the NIOS coordinator, let them know that your child has the following challenges and these are the requisite provisions you will be availing. And then you submit your application at the regional center. Tell them कि हम verbally नहीं बोल रहे हैं, हम आपके पास approval letter लेके आएंगे. और जब आप वहां पे जाएं, तो every year for every public exam, a notification is issued. For the, जैसे April से पहले March में आ गया था, 1st of March this notification was issued this year, that next of kin will be allowed to be a scribe. So my suggestion is, rather than get into trouble, when you take the approval letter on the exam day of the practical exam, along with the approval letter, please also take a copy of the notification. And then the study center will not be able to refuse you. लेकिन उनको पहले से पता होना चाहिए, वो आपके बच्चे से मिले होने चाहिए. They should be aware of the challenges. PCP तो होगा वहां पे ना. The chances are कि a state center really goes out of the way. They send you SMSs, they put up the schedule on the website. A normal AI may not go to all that much trouble because उनका जो target population है वो normal बच्चे हैं. So these kids will be continuously going to them and inquiring. So please, with a normal AI, you will have to constantly be in touch with them. Their schedule, if it doesn't reach you on time, please go and inquire what is your PCP schedule. During PCP, make sure that the teachers become very comfortable with your student. They become, aware of the strengths as well as weaknesses of your students. They become aware of the challenges. अगर आपके बच्चे को Down syndrome है, तो please take 5 minutes to explain Down syndrome to them. the challenges, the strengths as well as the weaknesses of your student, and let them know that application आप जिस दिन आओगे approval letter लेके आओगे, और उसके बाद अगर आपके पास अप्रूवल लेटर है तो कोई एआई आपको किसी भी कंडीशन में मना नहीं कर सकता प्रोविजंस के लिए. This is the most difficult part of your NIOS journey, which throws up the maximum glitches. But it throws up glitches if you're not aware of your responsibilities. अगर आप अपना काम पूरा नहीं करो तो ही glitches होंगे. Evaluation, like I said, the answer sheets of CWSN is packed separately, whether it is an AI or a SAGE center. इनको अलग से पैक किया जाता है. Evaluation special educators की होती है. The most important part that I wanted to discuss, the curriculum, how to go about the curriculum. One of the answers is here. Only keywords are required. Please, please, please listen to this. आपके prospectus में भी लिखा हुआ है, they want to evaluate your knowledge, not the expression of knowledge. I'll come to this very soon in the next slides. They're expecting keywords for a question that is a 1 mark question. Suppose it's, it's multiple choice. Of course, it will be आपको एक answer choose करना पड़ेगा. But suppose there is a question for 1 mark. They're expecting just one keyword from you. What is the dancing girl made of? They don't want you to write, the dancing girl was found from the Indus Valley civilization, Harappa. It is made of metal. The answer they're expecting is metal. That's it. I know this for a fact. This is your journey. I've explained all of it. Because we're short of time, let's skip it. But ये मैं आपको सब बता चुकी हूँ. पहले आप admission लोगे, उसके बाद आपकी admission verify होगी. Very quickly, admission होगा, admission verify होगा. Next step will be TMA submission. For example, let's take the October exams. जो बच्चे अक्टूबर में एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, उनका TMA एग्जाम फीस पहले आती है. एग्जाम फीस पहले आती है. Okay, so the TMA is uploaded way before. For example, for the October exam, the time to pay the exam fees started from 7 June. The TMA submission will continue till 31st July. The last date for TMA submission will be 31st July. Exam fee submission started from 7th till 7 July. It is without late fee. Beyond that, it will be with late fee. उसके बाद आपका, I can't see what we have here. Just a second. क्या है? उसके बाद आपका next step होगा PCP classes. Then you will get the practical hall ticket. After which you will apply for the practical exam relaxations. The two most important documents to apply for relaxations are UDMD card and the hall ticket. इसके बिना आप apply नहीं कर सकते. उसके बाद आपका practical exam होगा. Practical exam के बाद theory hall ticket upload होगी आपके dashboard पे. After the hall ticket is uploaded, you will apply for the theory relaxations. Then you will take the theory exam and then you will get the result. This slide has been color coded. The yellow things have to be done by the parent. The green things are done by NIOS and the blue things are done by the study center. I really don't think we have the time to explain this. So I'll very quickly go forward. I really hope I explained this already. Go forward. 1 minute. There is definite lag. Let's get over. Okay. Okay. Let's not spend time here. This is what we do at AMSS. We are not an AI. This is our life cycle. We help you with the registration, subject selection. We do parent trainings. We take online classes where complete curriculum coverage is done. Now, the exact same way, during the OB, there's a constant commentary happening from ACOM here. So, I'm a very focused person, despite that I'm talking to you. So, like in my last session, I had told you about the AMSS Center, primarily for you to know that what all are the things that a study center can do for you. यहाँ पे भी मैं आपको primarily वो बताने के लिए बता रही हूँ that these are things that you have a right to expect from your study center. So, okay, we will do curriculum, the entire curriculum of the books that are sent to you. They are near impossible to be transacted in the actual form. They have to be adapted. We help you with the TMA, PCP, project work. We communicate proactively about the timelines. हर साल at least 10 to 15% लोग exam fees नहीं pay करते. उनको पता ही नहीं होता pay करना है. या उसका टाइम आ चुका है. So that also is a study center's, it should be a study center's job to remind you. Troubleshooting with NIS headquarters. Now these three things we are able to help you with, because we are able to help anybody, any child from across India with, because head office Noida में है और हमसे सिर्फ 11 kilometers दूर है. So very often we do that. Children from across India, they're facing a glitch either with their study center, or they've made a blunder, or they've made a mistake, or the study center's made a mistake. I hope we are able to facilitate troubleshooting with the head office. So anybody getting into a trouble, I hope we can help them. Okay. Now, very quickly about how to transact the very expansive curriculum. मुझे बहुत बार ये बोला गया है, curriculum near impossible है करना. Adapt किया जा सकता है. This is a chapter from 229, code number 229, painting, secondary. आपका first chapter है history and appreciation of art, 3000 BC to 600 AD. This is the Indus Valley civilization. This is the example I took a minute ago also. वो जो पूरा there are three art forms in the first chapter. One of the art forms is the dancing girl. उस पूरा 2-page dancing girl के description को आप एक simple mind map में convert कर सकते हो. So for all the special educators and parents looking at the presentation, mind maps is one of your favorite, tools that you can use. So for example, here, जैसे हमने पूरा उसको convert किया है, मैं आपको example बता रही थी. Medium, what is it made of? Metal. Found from Mohenjo-daro. Height 4 inches. So what we do at our school is we convert the entire chapter into 2 or 3 mind maps, and the entire month when that chapter is happening, हमारे board पे ये mind maps displayed होते हैं. And every child reads the 3 mind maps every day. They just read it once in the morning. So the curriculum is very beautiful. It is very functional. It is something that everybody should know, to go through life. So, it is definitely doable. If you don't believe anything else I say, please believe me this. My daughter has an IQ of 48. The curriculum is not only doable, it is something that will really help your children, So what I've done here is I've got to go through this very quickly. I've taken the most difficult chapters. It's again a painting chapter. बहुत सारे लोग मुझे आके बोलते हैं, मैम रेनेसांस कैसे पढ़ाया जा सकता है? I'm going to do this very quickly. All of you, please look at this line here. We have a lot of kittens in our house. My younger daughter is an animal rescuer. And not only is Ekam giving the commentary, but the kittens are also all around me here. Please look at this portion here. I have shown you the 4 paintings that have been enlisted in the chapter number 5, which is called Renaissance, which is an art movement that happened in Europe. ये 4 बहुत so Mona Lisa has been made by Leonardo da Vinci. Birth of Venus has been made by a painter called Botticelli. How do we do this chapter? This one line. The painting Birth of Venus was painted by Botticelli in Renaissance style. So what we do is, जिस महीने में Renaissance पढ़ा जाएगा, हमारे बोर्ड के ऊपर 4 पिक्चर्स लगा देते हैं हम. मोनालिसा, और उसके नीचे ये लाइन. ओके, यहाँ पे मैंने सेकंड को एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है. So let's look at the second one only. So one of the pictures will be this picture, Birth of Venus, और उसके नीचे ये 3 lines लिखी होंगी. Just these 3 lines. Then you will have Mona Lisa. उसके नीचे line कैसे change हो जाएगी? The painting Mona Lisa was painted by Vinci in Renaissance style. So there'll be 4 pictures. Every picture will have 1 painting and these 3 lines and nothing else. And every child in that, every student of the class, especially the first 2 lines, will every morning come and just read these 3 lines. उसके बाद of course हम worksheets करेंगे, बहुत कुछ करेंगे. लेकिन वो पूरे के पूरे chapter को I will change into these 4 pages. And every page will have a summary of the chapter in these 3 lines only. So for Rembrandt, I'll take just, one very quickly. Suppose they're doing the third. And by the way, Okay, I really don't have time for that. I would have explained this to you. Renaissance was the reason my daughter, I joined the NIOS system. So suppose we were doing this painting. उसमें line क्या होगी? The painting Night Watch was painted by Rembrandt. The words will be substituted in Renaissance style. It shows. एक line वो याद करनी है. The medium is tempera on canvas. This is common for all of them. So this is supposed to be the most difficult chapter in the entire NIOS curriculum, 10th curriculum. मुझे parents ने अक्सर ये बात बोली है. And this is how simple it is. मैं आपको अपने experience से बता रही हूँ. If all of you will believe me, for some reason, a lot of parents will not choose painting कि उसमें बहुत difficult words है. This is the most difficult chapter because ये यूरोप पे है, बाकी इंडिया पे हैं chapters. But for some reason, every single student that I've ever come across, without exception, has taken to painting very easily. Okay, now this is again a mind map for chapter number 3 from home science. सारा चैप्टर होने के बाद ये बहुत छोटा छोटा लग रहा है, इसको बड़ा बड़ा बनाते हैं और कलर कोड करते हैं. Of course, the entire chapter was adapted. It was very visual. I can show it to you here. बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स हैं उसमें, बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स हैं, लेकिन एंड में आके वो पूरा का पूरा चैप्टर एक माइंड मैप में है. और इस माइंड मैप में अगर आप देखो, मोस्टली वर्ड्स कॉमन है, बीच में एक एक थोड़ा थोड़ा सा चेंज है. So what is it that they have to learn? Boiling, food is cooked in a lot of water. Stewing, food is cooked in a little water. It is one of the most difficult chapters of your home science book. It is a very expansive chapter. बहुत बड़ा सा है. हालांकि किचन में सारा सिखाया जा सकता है, लेकिन इसको सिखाने के भी बहुत सिंपल तरीके हैं. So you can, what I'm trying to say is that, of course, it is 98% your work and 2% the child's work. But if you do your 98% well, it is effort well spent. These are all things that you would want your child to know in life. I've taken another very simple example from, I don't think we have time for this. We'll just skip this. But again, a mind map.
Yes.
This is for DEO.
Ms. Jaspreet,
Finishing in 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
You can start off with the questions then.
Yeah, so the same thing has been presented in 3 manners. This is a mind map, and everything. So that's it. One more, I think, from data entry operations, one of the things that parents find most difficult. Okay, I'll just go to the next one. Is mail merge. This is a here. It has come in a vertical manner. Mail merge is supposed to be, again, parents have told me and students also, it's a part of the chapter Word, MS Word, supposed to be the most, difficult part of the entire curriculum. But it is very important because in most centers across India, mail merge is a favorite topic for practicals. इस बार तो थ्योरी में भी 6 marks का है, 6 marks का है ना, तो थ्योरी के लिए भी प्रैक्टिकल्स के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसका भी हमने एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाया है, सिंपल. So what I'm basically trying to say is that the entire curriculum is very easily doable. Just put in your effort. And I'm sorry, I again overstepped majorly. Done. My presentation's done.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful presentation. Should we jump into the questions quickly?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Kavita is asking, are there any PCP classes for vocational subjects?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Ma'am, so what happens is there are no PCP marks for practical, for vocational subjects. But most centers, like I said, PCP के 2 points हैं. One, PCP is supposed to prepare you for the actual practical, and second, you are assigned marks for it. For vocational subjects, marks are not assigned. But still, if PCP is being offered by your center, you absolutely must take it because that will prepare you for the practical exam. But there are no marks. Marks are not assigned to PCP.
Thank you. The next question we have is from Nidhi, and she asks, can we refer to NCRT books for secondary level?
Ma'am, can we have a book for it? Last time also, I think I showed you books. These are the kind of books NIOS is going to send you. They're very clear-cut books by NIOS publication. This is Home Science Book 2. You have a similar book 1, 2 books. आप कोई और बुक नहीं पढ़ सकते, आपको NIOS की publication की books पढ़नी है. One, they will be sent to you free of cost within a couple of months of your registration. Second, they're available online. You simply have to Google search. एक तो आप उनकी website पे जा सकते हो, study material वहाँ लिखा हुआ है, और you simply Google search NIOS online material. सारी books खुल जाएंगी. They're all, PDFs are all available on the website itself.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, can mainstream schools register as AVI center in NIOS if that school has inclusion?
Absolutely. Ma'am, see, to become an AI or an AVI, you have to be registered, the institution has to be registered with the RCI. And so, for example, in Noida, we have mainstream schools that have that cater to both the boards, CBSE as well as NIOS. So you definitely can be an AI and AVI and an AI both. Mainstream schools can be.
Thank you. The next question is from AGA. They ask, what about DPS school? Started NIOS from 9th grade onwards. Can you give an idea of how they work? What if parents choose the mainstream school as a study center for exams?
Where are you based, ma'am? Which DPS?
AJ, can you please unmute yourself?
I'll have AGA unmute. Meanwhile, we can address the other question. Go
Yes.
ahead, Miss Dora.
Yeah. Okay. The next question from Pankaj is, can we change subjects in between as we can do for OBE levels?
Absolutely. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, you can.
Yeah. AGA is
The next.
unmuted. AGA, please go ahead asking where are you talking from?
This is my question. Actually, my child.
Which DPS are you talking about, ma'am?
DPS Jaipur. DPS is Delhi Public.
Okay, in the interest of time, we can go ahead. I've kept you unmuted. Please ask, share whenever you can share.
I think I heard her say DPS Jaipur, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Ma'am, we have never interacted with DPS Jaipur. I could have answered Gurgaon, I could have answered Pune, I could have answered Bangalore. Jaipur, I'm not aware of. If you say Jaipur. Bangalore has 2 DPSs, DPS North, DPS South. You haven't, यहाँ पे गुड़गांव में sector 45 है.
Hello.
Sorry, can't hear you.
We can't hear you. If you can put your comment in the chat box, please, and then we will come back to it. We will go on to the next question, Ms. Dora.
Yes, Pankaj is asking if you could please explain TMA again, where to submit.
TMA is tutor marked assignments. If you are already enrolled and if you have an enrollment number, there'll be your student dashboard. You go to the dashboard, there's several squares. One of the squares is about TMA. It'll say upload and download. When you download your the assignments for every chapter or for every subject, you will be shown to you. And then you write those questions on a piece of paper, you make a PDF, and you go back to your dashboard, you click on upload, and then you upload your PDF file.
Ms. Dora, there is one more question related to TMA on YouTube. Will TMA chapters be repeated in public exams?
No, ma'am. The bifurcation is very clear. 40% of the chapters that have been assigned to TMA, unke questions public exam में नहीं आने चाहिए थे, इस साल आए हैं. This is the first public exam. If that is where this is leading, a lot of subjects have had a question here and there from the TMA chapters, but then this was the first time mistakes were expected. But otherwise, no. TMA chapters will not be coming in the public exam.
Sure, thank you. Ms. Dora, you can continue.
There's one more TMA question. Is TMA applicable to all the theoretical subjects?
Yes, ma'am. Theory, practical, all subjects, but not vocational subjects.
Then the
all
next
subjects,
question.
theory, practical, whatever, it is applicable to all subjects.
Thank you, ma'am. A question from R. Nair is, Is the scribe allowed to be with the child for the entire duration of the exam? What help does the reader scribe provide to the CWA?
What I've been told by the NIS regional center as well as head offices, and what I see on the ground level is, whether you go as a caregiver, ये अलग-अलग provisions है, whether you go as a caregiver or a scribe, once you're inside, you're inside. You can offer as little or as much help as you think the student needs. But yes, the scribe, if you have the permission letter for a scribe, the scribe will be allowed to sit with the student on a separate chair for the entire duration of the exam. They can only read the question and explain. They can write for the child. Like I said, as much or as little help as you want to give.
Similarly, one question from YouTube: Can a mother be a scribe for a specific learning disability? A child
That's what I told you, ma'am.
asking.
Next of kin is now allowed. Next of kin includes parents, siblings, and grandparents.
Yes, we had
thank
the
you.
same question from Tapasya as well, so that has been answered. I'll move on to the next one. For registration of senior secondary, whether secondary passed mark sheet is sufficient or secondary certificate is compulsory?
Ma'am,
Kavita
the mark
is
sheet
asking
is
that question.
mark sheet is quite enough.
Right, thank
You
you.
don't need a
The
certificate.
next
Mark sheet
question,
is quite
thank you. The next question is from Tapasya. Where can we make this mind map?
Oh,
I
ma'am,
think it's
this is just a
referring
tool
to
that
the, yeah, which,
yeah, this is just a
yes.
tool that special educators use. My favorite tool. You can adapt any which way. So it's one way of adapting. It's one way of summarizing the chapter. In fact, to tell you the truth, mind map, I've used it more for my younger daughter, the neurotypical daughter. I use them more for her than for my elder one. It's a wonderful tool to explain anything to anybody.
Thank you. The next question is from Uma. She asks for 10th NIOS. Can we take any 4 subjects and 1 vocational subject?
Ma'am, the only thing compulsory is the language. Like I said, vocational is no longer compulsory. So you have to take 1 language and 4 academic subjects. The academic subjects, one of the academic subjects can be the vocational subject. Compulsory सिर्फ language है, vocational compulsory नहीं है. Does it answer your question?
Uma, can you please unmute if you're still here? I'm not sure if
In
still
the
here.
interest of
I'll
time, we
go
can
on.
go ahead.
Yes, I'll go on to the next question. Do we get multiple choice questions in secondary exams?
Yes, ma'am. They were always there. From last year, the percentage has increased. It's almost 50% of 1 markers now. I would not say multiple choice. 1 markers would be fill in the blanks, choose the correct answer, match. But one markers are now almost 50% of the total exam.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question is from Udaya. Is NIOS recognized in European Union countries?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. There's a very strange question I saw just now. Somebody has asked 1 language and 4 vocational. No, you can take 1 language, 1 vocational, and 3 academics. अगर आप vocational compulsory नहीं है, but even if you do want to take, you can take only 1 vocational. So 1 language, 1 vocational, and 3 academic. I'm sorry, ma'am. I started reading that question. You said is 10th and 12th acceptable in European countries?
Yeah, Udaya is asking if it is recognized in European Union countries.
Yes, ma'am. Like last time, I think I showed that. All India Universities, AIU, yes, it is recognized everywhere. I've had students after 10th, go to US, UK, several universities, definitely recognized on paper as well as on ground.
Thank you. We have a question from Anamika. She says, Madam, I am interested in your offline classes. Can you please let me know if the transportation facility is available till AIMS, New Delhi? It is 16 kilometers from your school.
Ma'am, the school definitely has vans going into Delhi, but I am not associated, with that part of it. I could check and get back to you. But 2 of the school vans do go to Delhi. I don't know up to what extent they go. I'll check and let you know.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I
Please
think
get in
that's
touch with
all.
me.
Yes,
I
I
think
think
that's
we've
all the
covered
questions.
all the
Yeah.
questions from Zoom. There is one from YouTube. Ma'am, can you share the April 24 question paper of any business study or English class?
Absolutely. If you could send me a hi, definitely. BSc, anyway, the question papers will be uploaded on the website within 15 days of the result. So, but लेकिन आपको उससे पहले चाहिए, मेरे पास हैं PDFs, just write to me, I'll send them to you. The website has all the books, PDFs of all the books, all the previous year not solved. They have all the previous year question papers. That should be your biggest resource. One biggest tip that, which is how we also studied, but my best tip to all the parents here would be that before you start making your adaptations, I'm not saying before you start studying for the exams, I'm saying even before you start making your adaptations, please go through all the question papers. And then in the second thing I can tell you is the question paper design. Usme you will be, it shows the marks assigned to each chapter. So keeping these two things in mind, then you should start the adaptations.
Can I request you to put your school contact information in the chat box so that, parents can contact you directly with any
Sure.
specific help that
Yeah.
they need? Yeah.
I think it's my personal number only. The question that I just saw, can the subject be changed? The subject, every change is online. On your dashboard, there's these squares. One of the squares is e-services. You click on the e-services and whatever you need changed can be changed from there. Everything has, a small amount you have to pay. For example, to change the study, to add a subject, it is 750. To change a study center, it is 450. So there's small amount involved, but through e-services.
There's one
Ma'am,
question from a parent, Anamika. Ma'am, can you please suggest few schools in Delhi where your books are followed?
Ma'am, our books are there only for the OBE level. So the books in Delhi are in Gurgaon Heritage School, HDFC School. Then you have Step by Step, you have Shivnadar, you have Millennium. I think please get in touch with me personally. If I know the school your child is going to, I'd be able to give you a better, more specific answer. But that is, we have books only for OBE. NIS academics में तो किसी की books नहीं है ना, academics तो NIS की books है. These are NIS publications. You can't study anything but these books.
But ma'am,
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
strongly feel that the NIS publications should be, restructured, redesigned. I have seen those books and the way you have designed your OBE level. Why don't you design, make it simpler for the academic
Actually,
level
to
also?
tell you frankly, our OBE books are going to be made official from next to next year. 3rd, 5th and 8th, they're being introduced. But if you're talking about our adaptations, मैम तो अगर हमारे बच्चे CBSE schools में भी जाते हैं, adaptations तो हमें ही करनी पड़ती है ना. And trust me, when I said bache, I did not say, CWSM. I'll keep coming back to my younger one. I still remember when she was in her 8th standard, SST is a big challenge for her. So एक पूरा शिवाजी पे पूरा chapter था, and I had summarized it into two flow charts. And a teacher had actually called me to the school and said, आप demonstrate करो, आपने ये कैसे बनाया? So I'm honestly telling you, I've adapted the curriculums for my elder one as much as for my younger one. हम सब लोग inadvertently, सभी mothers घर पे कर रहे होते हैं. The only thing is we don't call it special education. We're all doing it all the time.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, AG, who was asking about the DPS school, has got back to us. They say it is DPS Bangalore South.
Ma'am, what I've been told by parents is that they're not very, very supportive. But then, last 2 years, there have been drastic sweeping changes through the NIOS system. Ma'am, I don't remember the center's name. Two of our students. Okay, if you're from Bangalore, have you heard of this school called Rising Start? It is headed by a lady called Chitra Solomon. Do you know her? If you know her, please get in touch with her. A lot of her students were our online students, and they were going to a study center which blew our mind. बहुत ही अच्छा study center था. So I don't know which it was. Otherwise, I will get in touch with Chitra and find out the center's name. You please get in touch with me. But if you know her, she's supposed to be a very big personality in Bangalore. You can give her my reference and find out. But DPS South and North, both of them I have not heard very good things about.
Thank
chat
you, ma'am.
confirmation.
Tapasya Sen, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, I wanted to know in secondary, there are only MCQs or like subjective questions also and MCQs also?
मैम सब्जेक्टिव भी है, इनफैक्ट पेपर अब 2 पार्ट्स में स्प्लिट हो गया है, दैट विल टेक अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम टू एक्सप्लेन. इफ यू कॉल मी और उससे भी बेटर है, आपको मैं भेज देती हूँ क्वेश्चन पेपर, आप देखो. लेकिन पहले टिल लास्ट ईयर वी यूज्ड टू हैव सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस up to 5 marks. It is now restricted to 50% of 1 markers. There is only one 3 marker and there are 10 2 markers. So it's primarily an objective paper.
Ma'am, I would like to answer the question of that parent who asked about DPS Bangalore. So
Please,
the DPS Bangalore, particularly the Whitefield side, I think that's the south, they have a tie-up with the NGO. They have a school within their school, which is a special school, and that's not run directly by the school, but they have a tie-up with another NGO which is running the school within the school, and they have the NIOS accreditation, and probably they are the said center also. That's how DPS would be, and it's Endeavor. Endeavor is running similar kind of center, and Dean's Academy also, and 1 or 2 other schools also. So it's directly not the school, but school has tied up with another NGO which is running a special needs center within their school.
So Bhavna ji, what you're saying is they've outsourced the SEN department? They've outsourced the SEN department to somebody
Yes, ma'am.
who...
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And does it run concurrently? क्या सारा दिन mainstream और SEN एक साथ चलते हैं, ये timings अलग-अलग हैं?
नहीं मैम, एक साथ चलते हैं और बहुत खूबसूरती से चलते हैं. My own son was going to one of, not the DPS, but the same organization which is running the special needs school for DPS is running it for Dean's Academy also, and they have a very good inclusion policy. So once the child is ready, they run it separately, but for half an hour, 45 minutes, for all the social gatherings, all the children are together. And for once the child is ready, they start taking him out in the main regular class for half an hour, 40 minutes, and
That's
slowly they
wonderful.
increase
So,
it.
you know what must have happened? These people that I spoke to, I still know her name is Asha, son went there. I think they must have enrolled from outside. They're probably not a student of DPS South. They've only chosen as a study center. Others, no? No, they were not a part of the school. They're only
No,
chosen the study
this
center.
way, this particular organization which I'm talking about, they run it as a school. So the child gets admission in the school. The child gets his all the papers are school paper, uniform is school, everything is school. It's only that the school has outsourced the special education part to another entity which is running within the school premises.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I think we are through all the questions. Thank you so much, Ms. Jaspreet, for your time and giving us such valuable information. I think I've just gained so much knowledge, and it just reflects so much of experience that you must have had into the field, that you have so much learning to share. So we are really grateful for you to share this with us. Going forward, we just wanted to talk to you about us. What is Saamarthya about? So we are a center which is led by a lot of different experts coming from different fields. We have occupational therapists, special educators, psychologists who has extensive experience, who can help you with a lot of understanding. We have, for particularly for UDAN, the program, the NIOS program that we are offering, it is going to be expert led. We are going to seek a lot of understanding, a lot of guidance from Ms. Jaspreet. So parents, if you all are interested, this is something that we are offering for the children, and it is going to be an online course. We will, along with the curriculum itself, we have designed the curriculum in a way which can also help you with life skills. So it's going to be a customized curriculum which will help you with the holistic development of the child and enhance the child's learning. So in case if you are interested, we can share more details about it on the group, and please fill in your forms. We have Miss Bhavna Pandey, who is a parent of a child who has already had her experiences in NIOS. So we would love to offer that as a program. In case if you have any more questions for us, please feel free to get in touch with us on this number. Please take a screenshot of this slide. You can feel free to email us, Ms. Dora, who was facilitating this session. Thank you so much, Ms. Dora, for the facilitation of the session. And you can always refer to our website as well.
Riddhi,
Thank
if
you
you
so
don't
much
mind
again.
just going back to one more slide,
Yes.
and just talk
Yes.
about Saamarthya as such, because I think there might be new parents here who may not know who we are or
Yeah,
what.
I'm sorry, I missed onto these slides. So please, Ms. Shivani, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to share with all the new parents. I know many of you have been joining our SNIC webinars for a while, so you may know, but we are a non-profit organization. We offer individual child-based interventions online. We do one-on-ones, we do group sessions. We have our therapeutic recreational club called Club Ananda. These are programs that we provide using our special educators and occupational therapists. We also provide a lot of parent training, which is online as well as in person. We provide one-on-one parent coaching as well. And our programs are, we offer in multiple regional languages. We have a model of family-centered practices and a sliding scale model, which means we always work with the parents' financial background to ensure that every single child gets the support that they need. And finally, we recently launched a family resource center in Pune, in Baner. For those of you who are in Baner, please come stop by anytime, come see us, come meet our team. We'll be so happy to meet with you and support your children. And like Riddhi said, any other support you need, if you, Riddhi, can go back to the last slide again. Our phone number is given on the slide, the center phone number, as well as the other way. Go to the last one. Yeah. Email us, contact us. You can go on our website, learn more about us. And before I wrap, I just want to thank Harshali for the partnership that you share with us with SNIC. We love these sessions, these webinars that we do. And last but not the least, an amazing session once again, Jaspreet. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time and your expertise. And for the parents here, she's always just willing to help. I just have to drop her a message and she'll say, yes, let's do it. So I hats off to your dedication and your hard work and your generosity, honestly, in sharing all this wealth of knowledge that you have with our parent community. I'm sure they've benefited a lot. And since you all have our number as well as SNIC's number and Jaspreet's number, you can contact any one of us and we'll be happy to, provide you with the kind of resources that you need for your children. So with that, thank you so much. And we'll be posting the link, the recording of this session on our WhatsApp group as well. In case you came in late, you missed some part of it, please go back to it. This is priceless knowledge. Like, don't miss this recording. Don't miss the previous week's recording. I would encourage you to take the time to listen to it in bits and pieces. It's a lot of knowledge. It takes time to absorb it. So take the time to listen to it in bits and pieces and make sure that you're able to apply this information to your specific needs and your child, right? And in that journey, anyhow we can help you, let us know. Our next week's session is going to be on NIOS and higher education avenues. So we are going to look forward to our professional expert from Ashoka University, Ms. Reena Gupta, who's going to talk about what higher education avenues do you have for your children. So come back for this session. And Harshali, do you want to say something?
Yes, thank you to all, and special thank you to Jaspreet, and always thank you to Saamarthya Foundation for doing this. I mean, amazing, very helpful sessions we are doing it. जसप्रीत, तो आप तो हमेशा मतलब एकदम ऐसा रहते हो कि कोई भी कॉल कर लो, कोई भी करो. दैट एटीट्यूड आई रियली अप्रिशिएट, बिकॉज मैं पूछती भी नहीं हूँ कि किससे कोई बोलता है कि कहाँ हेल्प करनी है. आई जस्ट उसका नंबर शेयर कर देती हूँ. सो आई एम सो रिलैक्स कि NIOS पे और होम स्कूलिंग में कुछ भी आए, सो आई हैव वन मेंबर हु रियली वांट टू हेल्प. थैंक्स अ लॉट. थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन. थैंक्स Saamarthya team.
Thanks, Dora.
Pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jaspreet. Thank you very much for such a wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. See you. Bye-bye. I'll definitely see you next time. It's going to be a wonderful session. Reena ji is an incredible resource.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to that session as well.
Same here. Same here.
Great.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much, everyone.